Hare Krishna, welcome all devotees. So today we have with us Shri Gaur Bhakta Prabhu. So Gopal Chandra Prabhu, as yesterday he told he's busy, so he asked Prabhuji to give our class today, and he kindly accepted. So we are very grateful to Shri Gaur Bhakta Prabhu that he kindly giving today's class. So let's welcome by chanting one Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Hare.
Ram. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So Pratik, we will start.
Yes, Prabhuji, we can start.
So Prabhuji told me that yesterday he had completed till 4 verses,
Yes,
8.4.
yes.
So is this screen visible?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can see.
We will start with prayers. So here the entire Mangalacharan prayers are there. So we'll just recite them and then we'll start the class. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दायिताय कृपाब्दये कृष्णसम्बन्धविज्ञानादायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुरोज्ज्वलप्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिद श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोऽस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्ते दीनतारिणे रूपानुगविरुद्ध अपसिद्धान्त द्वान्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बरसाम्बोधे पादाम्बुजाय ते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवराय ते गौराविर्भावभूमिस्त्वं निर्दिष्ट सज्जनप्रियः वैष्णवसार्वभौम श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरित्से नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते जयतां सुरतो पङ्गोर्मम मन्दर्मतिर्गते मत्सर्वस्वपादाम्बोजो राधामदनमोहनो दिव्यागृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमाधः श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्रीमद्राधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठालिपि सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशीवटतटस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुस्वनैर्गोपैर्गोपीनाथः श्रीयत्सुनः तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So, as Prabhuji has already completed till 4 verses, so we'll start with the 5th verse. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for giving me an opportunity to basically discuss this great treasure of Bhagavad Gita in the association of devotees. Thank you very much. So now, yesterday I think Prabhuji has completed 4 verses. So in the 4th verses, in the first verse and second
Krishna
verse.
Prabhuji, I
Yes,
think
Mataji.
which is completed till verse number 3.
Verse number 3.
Yes.
Mataji, 4th is also completed. Mataji.
4th is also completed. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
Prabhuji.
Yeah. So if you remember, Arjuna asked 2 questions, or Arjuna in the first 2 verses asked many questions, around 8 to 9 questions to Krishna. What is Adhyatma, Adibhutam, Adidaiva, and Adi Yajna, and what is the destination of the devotees who are always constantly serving Krishna. So already in 3rd and 4th verse, Krishna has answered almost all the questions except the last question, what is the destination of the devotees who are constantly serving Krishna. So in the coming verses, Krishna will answer that, and also Krishna will explain about Yoga Mishra Bhakti and Pure Bhakti. So we'll start this 5th verse. So we'll recite together. Antakale cha mameva smaranitva kalevaram yah prayati sabadbhavam yati nasti atra samchaya. So somebody can read the translation and purport.
Yeah, I'll start. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attain my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. In this verse, the importance of Krishna consciousness is stressed. Anyone who quits his body in Krishna consciousness is at once transferred to the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is the purest of the pure. Therefore, anyone who is constantly Krishna conscious is also the purest of the pure. The word smaran, remembering, is important. Remembrance of Krishna is not possible for the impure soul who has not practiced Krishna consciousness in devotional service. Therefore, one should practice Krishna consciousness from the very beginning of the life. If one wants to achieve success at the end of his life, the process of remembering Krishna is essential. Therefore, one should constantly, incessantly chant the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Lord Chaitanya has advised that one be as tolerant as a tree, tarorapi sahishnuna. There must be so many impediments for a person who is chanting Hare Krishna. Nonetheless, tolerating all these impediments, one should continue to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, so that at the end of one's life, one can have the full benefit of Krishna consciousness. Thank you.
Yeah. So here Krishna is explaining what is the destination of that devotee or soul who is constantly engaged in the Lord's service. So Krishna is telling that he will, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. We need not have any doubt that we will attain Krishna's nature, or will attain Krishna's abode, Golok Vrindavan, if we constantly serve Krishna throughout one's life. And Prabhupada is further explaining that how can we always think of Krishna, or how can we always remember Krishna? That is, we should constantly, incessantly chant the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. But Prabhupada is further advising that what should be our attitude, or what qualities we should have to constantly and instantly chant. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is advising in the third verse of Chaitanya Shastakam, wherein Tarorapi Sahishnuna. Because without being tolerant, the Prabhupada is explaining that there will be many impediments, because this material world, further Krishna will also explaining in the 14th and 15th verse that this is Dhukalayam Ashashvatam. This material world is full of miseries. So if we want to continue chanting Hare Krishna, then we should be tolerant, because without being tolerant, it will be very difficult to continue chanting Hare Krishna and have full benefit of Krishna consciousness. So this is text 5. Further, Krishna explains in text 6 that what happens, or whatever thoughts we have at the time of death, that is what we will attain in the next life. Text 6. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरं तं तमेवैति कौन्तेय sada tadbhava bhavita. Translation and purport.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Tanarana. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. The process of changing one's nature at the critical moment of death is here explained. A person who at the end of his life quits his body, thinking of Krishna, attains the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. But it is not true that a person who thinks of something other than Krishna attains the same transcendental state. This is not a point. This is a point we should note very carefully. How can one die in the proper state of mind? Maharaj Bharata, although a great personality, thought of a deer at the end of his life, and so in his next life he was transferred into the body of a deer. Although as a deer he remembered his past activities, he had to accept that animal body. Of course, one's thought during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one's thoughts at the moment of death. So, this life creates one's next life. If in one's present life one lives in the modes of goodness and always thinks of Krishna, it is possible for one to remember Krishna at the end of one's life. That will help one be transferred to the transcendental nature of Krishna. If one is transcendentally absorbed in Krishna's service, then his next body will be transcendental, spiritual, not material. Therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare is the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So, if you see here, Prabhupada is explaining, Krishna is telling that in the fifth verse, Krishna explained that if you remember me, then you will attain me. Again, Krishna is further explaining that whatever you remember at the point of death, that is what you will attain. So, Krishna is also telling that if you don't remember me at the time of death, then surely whatever you remember at the time of death, that is what you will attain. Therefore, many times we hear devotees or Prabhupada telling that we should, generally devotees don't keep dogs, cats and other things at home, because if one is constantly serving them throughout their life, then there might be a possibility that one may remember them and one may be his next body may be that of an animal. So therefore we should always carefully throughout our life try to chant Hare Krishna mantra and practice, associate with devotees, serve the devotees, so that at the time of death we will be able to remember Krishna. And Prabhupada is also explaining this in this purport, that whatever we have done throughout our life, that is what we will remember at the time of death. Here, example of Bharat Maharaj's life is given, wherein he served the deer throughout his life. After he went to the forest, accidentally he met across a deer, and because he got attached to the deer at the time of death, he remembered the deer, and therefore in his next life, his birth was that of a deer. Therefore, we should be very careful how we are investing our time in this very life, because this life, whatever we practice, Prabhupada is explaining the purport that this life is the preparation for the next life. We can see our consciousness, and we can understand that because of my past life, my consciousness is in a bad way or whatever. So if we want to make our next life very nice, a Krishna conscious life, then we should take care that we invest our time nicely to always think of Krishna, always remember Krishna, chant his holy name, serve devotees, so that our next life will be Krishna conscious. This life will also be Krishna conscious, and next life will also be Krishna conscious. Yes. So now somebody may think that Krishna is telling that you always remember me, and whatever, if you remember me at the time of death, you will attain me in the next life. So somebody may think that, okay, it is very easy to remember Krishna. So Krishna is telling that not only you should remember me, but you should also serve me, because serving Krishna sometimes may be a little difficult. Just sitting at one place and thinking of Krishna may be easy, but serving Krishna in the association of devotees, serving devotees may be difficult. So somebody may think it is very easy, that one may sit at one place and remember him. But Krishna is telling that along with remembering me, you should also serve me. Arjuna must have thought that anyway I don't want to fight this war, so Krishna is telling me to remember him. So he is not telling me to fight. But Krishna is telling again that along with remembering me, you should also fight this war. Yes, text 7. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhya cha mai arpita mano buddhir mam eveshasi asamshayah. Translation and purport.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad. Therefore, Arjun, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt.
Yeah, so Prabhupada is explaining that along with first of all, you should remember me, and along with remembering me, along with doing your duties, both should go on simultaneously. Somebody may think that while we are working at office, or if somebody is serving in the home, so how is it? So is it not okay if I just keep on serving? But Prabhupada, Krishna and Prabhupada are telling that along with serving, we should also remember him. So if somebody may tell Prabhuji, it is very difficult while you are working in the office and serving at home, it may be difficult to remember while serving. But for that, Prabhupada and Krishna in the purport, Prabhupada tells that if it is so difficult to remember Krishna while your body is hale and healthy and your health is good, if it is very difficult to remember while you are doing your activities, then how can you remember him at the time of death? Therefore, along with doing services, our also focus should be to remember him, right? Yeah, purport.
This instruction to Arjun is very important for all men engaged in material activities. The Lord does not say that one should give up his prescribed duties or engagements. One can continue them and at the same time think of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna. This will free one from material contamination and engage the mind and intelligence in Krishna. By chanting Krishna's names, one will be transferred to the supreme planet, Krishna Lok, without doubt. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So how can one think of Krishna? So Prabhupada is saying that we should chant Hare Krishna. So while we are doing any activity, like at home, if we are cooking at home, or in case we are at office, so what we can do is at home anyway, if some Mataji is cooking and all, they can always put Prabhupada's Kirtan, Guru Maharaj's Kirtan, and or hear lectures. And at office, if one is doing, and if it does not, what is that? If one can chant Hare Krishna along with whatever one is doing, then one will be able to think of Krishna always. So here there is this surrender unto me that Gurujan Prabhu has written. There also Prabhuji has given very nice comments on this particular verse. We'll just have a look at that. Yeah. So this is what I was quoting. So Gurujan Prabhu is writing here. Often devotees wonder if it is necessary to remember Krishna while they do their duty, or whether doing the duty for Krishna is sufficient. Here is Krishna's answer. We should remember Krishna and do our prescribed duties. Even though it may be difficult to remember Krishna while we work, it will be far more difficult to remember him at the time of death, when our consciousness is disturbed and overwhelmed with pain. Therefore, Krishna wants us to practice now. Krishna will repeat his desire for us to constantly remember him in 18th chapter 57 and in other verses. It is interesting that Krishna says, Mam Anusmara, go on remembering me, even before Yuddhacha and fight. We should remember Krishna in devotion and work for his pleasure. To remember Krishna is so important that Krishna repeats the point in the next verse. So, I heard in the lectures of different devotees that why this morning chanting or the morning program is important, chanting of Hare Krishna mantra before we go to work is important, because Krishna is telling Mam Anusmara Yuddhacha. Before the Yuddha comes Mam Anusmara. So if we in the morning, we get up early in the association of devotees, we chant, we have already remembered Krishna and we have chanted Hare Krishna mantra, chanted our fixed quota of chanting Hare Krishna. And then when we go to work, remembering Krishna will become easy. Otherwise, if you are not chanted, if you are not associated with devotees in the morning, and if you are not chanted our Hare Krishna Mahamantra, 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then remembering Krishna when we go outside will be difficult. Therefore, Prabhupada has the package that Prabhupada has given us, that in the morning for Krishna, purely for Krishna, chanting of Hare Krishna Mantra, hearing about Krishna, taking darshan of Krishna, and a whole day you work for Krishna. So this package Prabhupada has given us. If we take advantage of this package, then surely, if we lead a life like this, then surely at the time of death, we will be able to remember Krishna and go back home, back to Godhead. Yeah. So this was text 7. We'll next go where Krishna is again, what is that? Stressing on remembering him. Text 8. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanya paramam purusham divyam yati parthanuchintayan. Yes, to translation.
He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O Parth, is sure to reach me.
Yes, Prabhupada is again telling, if somebody remembers me, always constantly meditates on me, undeviated from the path, he is sure to reach me. Yes, purport.
In this verse, Lord Krishna stresses the importance of remembering him. One's memory of Krishna is revived by chanting the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna. By this practice of chanting and hearing the sound vibration of the Supreme Lord, one's ear, tongue, and mind are engaged. This mystic meditation is very easy to practice and it helps one attain the Supreme Lord. Purusham means enjoyer. Although living entities belong to the marginal energy of the Supreme Lord, they are in material contamination. They think themselves enjoyers, but they are not the supreme enjoyer. Here it is clearly stated that the supreme enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his different manifestations and plenary expansions as Narayan, Vasudev, etc. Hare Krishna.
Continue, Mataji, continue.
The devotee can constantly think of the object of worship, the Supreme Lord, in any of his features, Narayan, Krishna, Ram, etc., by chanting Hare Krishna. This practice will purify him, and at the end of his life, due to his constant chanting, he will be transferred to the kingdom of God. Yoga practice is a meditation on the supreme super soul within. Similarly, by chanting Hare Krishna, one fixes his mind always on the Supreme Lord. The mind is fickle, and therefore it is necessary to engage the mind by force to think of Krishna. One example often given is that of the caterpillar that thinks of becoming a butterfly and so is transformed into a butterfly in the same life. Similarly, if we constantly think of Krishna, it is certain that at the end of our lives, we shall have the same bodily constitution as Krishna. Surrender unto me.
Yeah. So here Prabhupada is giving a very nice analogy here. One example often given is that of the caterpillar. The caterpillar is always thinks of becoming a butterfly. So therefore, it is eventually transformed into a butterfly. Similarly, if we constantly think of Krishna by chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Prabhupada is saying that at the end of our lives, we shall have the same bodily constitution as Krishna. So Prabhupada is again and again stressing when Krishna is telling that remember me, always think of me without deviation. Prabhupada is again and again coming to the point of this Kali Yuga Dharma. The Yuga Dharma of this Kali Yuga is chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Prabhupada is again and again bringing us back to the same point that constantly chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Whenever you get time, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So that first comes Shravanam. Already we are doing that Shravanam. Then comes Kirtanam, chanting of Hare Krishna. So if we regularly and constantly do this Kirtanam of chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then eventually that will lead to Smaranam, remembering Krishna. So therefore Prabhupada is focusing on chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That will purify us, and at the end of our life, because of the constant chanting, we will be transferred to the kingdom of God. Yes. So now, Krishna is telling in the next verse, that is text 9, that how we can remember him. Prabhupada, Krishna is telling that, Krishna is giving different ways how we can remember him. That Krishna is mentioning in the text 9. Kavim Puranam Anushashitaram Anoraniyam Samanusmaredya Sarvasya Dhataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat. Yes. Translation. One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is the smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, and who is always a person. He is luminous like the sun, and he is transcendental beyond this material nature. Yeah. So how Krishna is mentioning different his different qualities by which we can actually meditate on him. So Kavim means one who knows past, present, and future, or one who is omniscient. Puranam means he is beginningless or he is the oldest. Anushashitaram means he is the controller of everything. Anor Aniya means he's smaller than the smallest, right? And Sarvasya Dataram means he's a maintainer of everything. Achintya, he is inconceivable. Rupam, he has a beautiful personal form. Aditya Varnam, he is luminous like the sun and self-revealing. And Tamasa Parastar means he is transcendental to material nature, which is full of ignorance. So we can also remember these things that Krishna is mentioning, and we can try to remember Krishna while we are doing our activities throughout the day and throughout our life. Yeah. Purport. Purport. The process of thinking of the Supreme is mentioned in this verse. Foremost point is that he is not impersonal or void. One cannot meditate on something impersonal or void. That is very difficult. The process of thinking of Krishna, however, is very easy and is factually stated herein. First of all, the Lord is Purush, or person. We think of the person Ram and the person Krishna. And whether one thinks of Ram or of Krishna, what he likes is described in this verse of Bhagavad Gita. The word is Kavi, that is, he knows past, present, and future, and therefore knows everything. He is the oldest personality because he is the origin of everything. Everything is born out of him. He is also the supreme controller of the universe, and he is the maintainer and the instructor of humanity. He is smaller than the smallest. The living entity is 1/10,000 part of the tip of a hair, but the Lord is so inconceivable, is so inconceivably small that he enters into the heart of this particle. Therefore, he is called smaller than the smallest. As the supreme, he can enter into the atom and into the heart of the smallest and control him as a super soul. Although so small, he is still all pervading and is maintaining everything. By him, all these planetary systems are sustained. We often wonder how these big planets are floating in the air. It is stated here that the Supreme Lord, by his inconceivable energy, is sustaining all these big planets and system of galaxy. The word achintya, inconceivable, is very significant in this connection. Lord's energy is beyond our conception, beyond our thinking jurisdiction, and is therefore called inconceivable, achintya. Who can argue this point? He pervades this material world and yet is beyond it. We cannot comprehend even this material world, which is insignificant compared to the spiritual world. So how can we comprehend what is beyond? Achintya means that which is beyond this material world, that which our argument, logic, and philosophical speculation cannot touch, that which is inconceivable. Therefore, intelligent persons avoiding useless argument and speculation should accept what is stated in scriptures like Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam and follow the principles they set down. This will lead one to understanding. Yeah. So Krishna is achintya, that it is very, very difficult to understand Krishna, or it is very, very difficult also to understand. Prabhupada is telling that what to speak of Krishna, it is even very difficult to understand this material world. So therefore, so if Krishna is so inconceivable, then how we can understand him? Krishna could be understood by surrendering to Guru. Krishna also tells in the 4th chapter that how can you understand this Bhagavad Gita? Krishna tells that tad viddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. That if we surrender to Guru, if we ask questions, proper questions to Guru, serve him, then by the mercy of the Guru, because he has seen the truth, by the mercy of Guru, he will reveal to us the truth. Therefore, surrendering to Guru, taking shelter of Guru is very, very important to understand Krishna or to understand Bhagavad Gita. Yes. So next, we'll move on to text 10. Here, now Krishna explains to us Yoga Mishra Bhakti, or how a yogi performs bhakti which is mixed with Ashtanga Yoga, which is mixed. So the processes are mentioned in text 10 to 13. In this 4 verses, Krishna explains about a Yoga Mishra Bhakti. So text 10. प्रयाणकाले मनसाचलेन भक्त्या युक्तयोगबलेन चैव भ्रोर्मध्ये प्राणामवेश सम्यक् सतं परं पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम्. Translation.
Hare Krishna. One who at the time of death fixes his life air between the eyebrows and by the strength of yoga with an undeviating mind engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in full devotion will certainly attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah. Purport.
In this verse, it is clearly stated that at the time of death, the mind must be fixed in the devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For those practiced in yoga, it is recommended that they raise the life force between the eyebrows to the Agnya Chakra. The practice of Sat Chakra Yoga involving meditation on the 6 chakras is suggested here. A pure devotee does not practice such yoga, but because he is always engaged in Krishna consciousness, at death he can remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his grace. This is explained in verse 14. And the particular use of the word yoga balena is significant in this verse because without practice of yoga, whether Satchit yoga or Bhakti yoga, one cannot come to this transcendental state of being at the time of death. One cannot suddenly remember the Supreme Lord at the death. One must have practiced some yoga system, especially the system of Bhakti yoga. Since one's mind at the death is very disturbed, one should practice transcendence through yoga during one's life. Surrender unto me. The book name.
Yeah. So you can see here how much this yoga practice, this yoga practice Prabhupada is explaining that this is such chakra yoga. So how much it is difficult. One has to raise one's life air, one has to fix one's concentration, undeviating near his eyebrows, between the eyebrows. So this process is very, very difficult. So Arjuna could not understand what Krishna explained, this particular Sat Chakra Yoga. So therefore Krishna is further explaining, understanding that Arjuna has not understood what he has explained. So he is further explaining this Sat Chakra Yoga in text 11, 12 and 13. Right? So we'll go to text 11. यदक्षरं वेदविदो वदन्ति विशन्ति यतयो वीतरागः यदिच्छन्तो ब्रह्मचर्यं चरन्ति तते पदं संग्रहेण प्रवक्ष्ये. Translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Persons who are learned in the Vedas, who utter Okara, and who are great sages in the renounced order, enter into Brahman. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. I shall now briefly explain to you this by which one may attain salvation. Shall I read the purport?
Yes, Maharaj.
Lord Shri Krishna has recommended to Arjuna the practice of Sat Chakra Yoga, in which one places the air of life between the eyebrows, taking it for granted that Arjuna might not know how to practice Sat Chakra Yoga. The Lord explains the process in the following verses. The Lord says that Brahman, although one without a second, has various manifestations and features, especially for the impersonalist, the Akshara or Omkara, the syllable Om, is identical with Brahman. Krishna here explains the impersonal Brahman into which the renounced order of sages enter. In the Vedic system of knowledge, students from the very beginning are taught to vibrate Om and learn of the ultimate impersonal Brahman by living with the spiritual master in complete celibacy. In this way, they realize two of Brahman's feature. The practice is very essential for the student's advancement in spiritual life. But at the moment, such brahmachari, unmarried celibate, life is not at all possible.
The social construction of the world has changed so much that there is no possibility of one's practicing celibacy from the beginning of student life. Throughout the world, there are many institutions for different departments of knowledge, but there is no recognized institution where students can be educated in the brahmachari principles. Unless one practices celibacy, advancement in spiritual life is very difficult. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya has announced, according to the scriptural injunction for this age of Kali, that in this age no process of realizing the Supreme is possible except the chanting of the holy names of the Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
So here Prabhupada is explaining that these are the principles of yoga. Prabhupada is explaining that unless one practices celibacy, advancement in spiritual life is very difficult. But Prabhupada is further giving us a hope that therefore Lord Chaitanya has announced, according to the scriptural injunctions for this age of Kali, that in this age no process of realizing the Supreme is possible except the chanting of the holy names of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Therefore, the Kali Yuga Vasis, we should be very grateful to Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya that they have given us this Taraka Brahmanam, this the holy name of Lord Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that by chanting, by taking their shelter, Srila Prabhupada's shelter and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's shelter, we by chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we will be able to cross this ocean of darkness, this age of Kali, by chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantras. Therefore, we should be eternally grateful to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada that they have given us this, the holy names of the Lord. So further, Krishna continues in text 12, the process of this yoga practice. सर्वद्वाराणि संयम्य मनोहृदि निरुद्य च मूर्ध्नि आध्यात्ममनः प्राणम् आस्थितो योगधारणाम्. Translation. Hare Krishna, somebody can read.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I'm reading 27 number.
Yes.
The yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of the senses and fixing the mind on the heart and the life air at the top of the head. One establishes himself in yoga. To practice yoga, as suggested here, one first has to close the doors of all sense enjoyment. This practice is called pratyahara, or withdrawing the senses from the sense objects. The sense organs for acquiring knowledge, the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and touch, should be fully controlled, and one should not be allowed to engage in self gratification. In this way, the mind focuses on the supersoul in the heart, and the life force is raised to the top of the head. In the 6th chapter, this process is described in detail. But as mentioned before, this practice is not practical in this age. The best process is Krishna consciousness. If one is always able to fix his mind on Krishna in devotional service, it is very easy for him to remain in an undisturbed transcendental trance or in samadhi.
So the yoga process is very difficult. Prabhupada is explaining that the devotional service is very, very easy, and by that we can remember Krishna and we can become we can attain an undisturbed transcendental trance, that is samadhi. Yes, text 13. Krishna explains that one who practices this yoga, practice that Sat Chakra yoga that Krishna is explaining, what will be his destination? That Krishna is explaining in 13th text number 13. Om iti ekaksharam brahma vyaharan ma manusmaran yah prayati tyajan deham sayati paramam gatim. Translation.
After being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of the supreme personality of Godhead and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets.
Yeah, so Krishna is adding a disclaimer here, adding this thing that he has to think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets. So, whatever yoga practice one may be doing, it may be karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga. This you must have heard in the sixth chapter also, that whatever yoga, whatever type of yoga one may be practicing, one has to add bhakti yoga in that to reach the spiritual planets or to attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, he cannot reach the spiritual planets or he cannot attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead without bhakti. Yes, purport.
It is clearly stated here that Om, Brahman, and Lord Krishna are not different. The impersonal sound of Krishna is Om, but the sound Hare Krishna contains Om. The chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is clearly recommended for this age. So, if one quits his body at the end of life, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, he certainly reaches one of the spiritual planets according to the mode of his practice. The devotees of Krishna enter the Krishna planet, Golok Vrindavan. For the personalist, there are also innumerable other planets known as the Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual sky, whereas the impersonalists remain in the Brahmajyoti.
Yes. So if one chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra and if one is worshipping Krishna, then one will surely attain the Golok Vrindavan planet. So now Krishna, after explaining the Yoga Mishra Bhakti, so Krishna now explains in text 14 onwards, he is explaining about pure bhakti, or you can also what a pure devotee does to attain the Golok Vrindavan, or how he is surrendered to Krishna. So that Krishna is explaining in text 14 onwards. So text 14. Ananya cheta satatam yo mam smarati nityasah tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yogina. So Krishna is saying, tasyaham sulabha partha, I am easy to attain if he does these things. So what is that? Let us see in translation. Yes, translation.
Yes. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain. O son of Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service.
Yeah. So
Prabhupada.
Krishna is explaining what Krishna is explaining here is because of his constant engagement in devotional service, one who always remembers me with without deviation, I am easy to obtain. Yes. Purport.
This verse especially describes the final destination attained by the unalloyed devotee who serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Bhakti Yoga. Previous verse Previous verses have mentioned four different kinds of devotees: the distressed, the inquisitive, those who seek material gain, and the speculative philosophers. Different processes of liberation have also been described: Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Hatha Yoga. The principles of these yoga systems have some bhakti added, but this verse particularly mentions pure bhakti yoga without any mixture of jnana, karma, or hatha as indicated by the word ananya chetaha. In pure bhakti yoga, the devotee desires nothing but Krishna. A pure devotee does not desire promotion to heavenly planets, nor does he seek oneness with the Brahma Jyoti, or salvation or liberation from material entanglement. A pure devotee, uh, a pure devotee does not desire anything in the Chaitanya Chaitamrita. In the Chaitanya Chaitamrita, the pure devotee is called Nishkama, which means he has no desire for self-interest. Perfect place belong to him alone, not to them who strive for personal gain. Whereas a Jnana Yogi, Karma Yogi, or Hatha Yogi has his own selfish interest. A perfect devotee has no desire other than to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Lord says that for anyone who is unflinchingly devoted to him, he is easy to obtain. A pure devotee always engage in devotional service to Krishna in in one of his four in one of his various personal features. Krishna has various plenary expansions and incarnations, such as Rama, Narsimha, and a devotee can choose to fix his mind in loving service to any of these transcendental forms of the Supreme Lord. Such a devotee meets with none of the problems that plunge the practitioners of other yogas. Bhakti Yoga is very simple and pure and easy to perform. One can begin simply by chanting Hare Krishna. The Lord is merciful to all, but as we have already explained, He is especially inclined towards those who always serve Him without deviation. The Lord helps such devotee in various ways. As stated in Vedas, Kathopanishad, yam evesha vrunate tena labhyas tasme atma vivrunate tanum swam. One who is fully surrendered and engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord can understand the Supreme Lord as He is. And as stated in Bhagavad Gita 10:10, Tadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. The Lord gives such a devotee sufficient intelligence so that ultimately the devotee can attain Him in his spiritual kingdom. The spiritual qualification of pure devotee is that he is always thinking of Krishna without deviation and without considering the time or place. There should be no impediments. He should be able to carry out his service anywhere and at any time. Some say that the devotee should remain in a holy place like Vrindavan or some holy town where the Lord lived. But a pure devotee can live anywhere and create the atmosphere of Vrindavan by his devotional service. It was Sri Advaita who told Lord Chaitanya, "Wherever you are, O Lord, there is Vrindavan." As indicated by the words Satatam and uh, Nityashaha, which means always and regularly or every day. A pure devotee constantly remembers Krishna and meditate upon him. Those are qualifications of the pure devotee for whom the Lord is most easily attainable. Bhakti Yoga is the system that the Gita recommends above all others. Generally, the Bhakti Yogis are engaged in five different ways. Shanta Bhav, engaged in devotional service in neutrality. Dasya Bhav, engaged in devotional service as servant. Sakhya Bhav, engaged as friend. Vatsalya Bhav, engaged as parent. And Madhurya Bhakta, engaged as conjugal lover of Supreme Lord. In any of these ways, the pure devotee is always constantly engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord and cannot forget the Supreme Lord, and so for him the Lord is easily attained. A pure devotee cannot forget the Supreme Lord for a moment, and similarly, the Supreme Lord cannot forget his pure devotee for a moment. This is the great blessing of Krishna conscious process of chanting the Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare.
So here Krishna is explaining in this verse that of his pure devotee. So the pure devotee's characteristics, Krishna is Prabhupada is explaining the pure devotee's characteristics. So here in the first paragraph, Prabhupada explained that Ananya Cheta, and he was telling about Nishkama. Ananya Cheta means a devotee desires nothing but Krishna. So this is pure devotional service. That he only desires Krishna and he doesn't want, neither he wants promotion to heavenly planets, neither he wants to merge in the Brahma Jyoti, neither he wants any material gains. The devotee only desires Krishna. He is Nishkama. Means he doesn't have any desire for self-interest. And Godhead. And if one does that in such an undeviating way, if one serves the Lord, then Krishna, Prabhupada is telling that Dadami Buddhyogam Tam. Krishna will surely give him the sufficient intelligence so that ultimately the devotee can attain him in his spiritual kingdom. So, we devotees of Krishna, we are of the Krishna consciousness movement, our ultimate aim or our ultimate desire is to become a pure devotee. So, how we can become a pure devotee, Prabhupada is very elaborately explaining in this particular verse. And also, Prabhupada is telling that pure devotee means is always thinking of Krishna. So pure devotional service means unalloyed, uninterrupted. So it is never mixed with any other desire, and it is never interrupted. Whatever be the situation, a devotee is always ready to serve Krishna. And Prabhupada is telling, also explaining that devotee should always remain in holy places like Vrindavan or some holy town, but a pure devotee can live anywhere and create the atmosphere of Vrindavan by his devotional service. So this verse, Prabhupada is elaborately explaining in this purport the characteristics of a pure devotee, right? So further, Krishna explains about this pure devotional service or how a pure devotee lives. So in this text 15, so we'll go on to text 15. Mam upetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gati. Prabhupada is explaining, or Krishna is explaining, the destination of a pure devotee in this particular verse. Translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. Prabhuji, shall I read purport as well?
Yeah.
Since this temporary material world is full of the miseries of birth, old age, disease, and death, naturally, he who achieves the highest perfection and attains the supreme planet, Krishna Lok, Golok, and Vrindavan, does not wish to return. The supreme planet is described in Vedic literature as Avyakta and Akshara and Paramgati. In other words, the planet is beyond our material vision, and it is inexplicable, but is the highest goal, the destination for the Mahatmas, great souls. The Mahatmas receive transcendental messages from the realized devotees and thus gradually develop devotional service in Krishna consciousness and become so absorbed in transcendental service that they no longer desire elevation to any of the material planets, nor do they even want to be transferred to any spiritual planet. They want only Krishna and Krishna's association and nothing else. That is the highest perfection of life. This verse specifically mentions the personalist devotees of the Supreme Lord Krishna. These devotees in Krishna consciousness achieve the highest perfection of life. In other words, they are the Supreme Lords. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhupada is explaining here, the Mahatmas receive transcendental messages from the realized devotees. So Prabhupada is a realized devotee, and uh, we as devotees are receiving this transcendental message. And by this, what will happen? Gradually, we develop devotional service in Krishna consciousness and become so absorbed in transcendental service that they no longer desire elevation to any of the material planets, nor do they want to be transferred to any spiritual planet. They want only Krishna and Krishna's association. So if we continue to receive this transcendental message from the realized devotee, Srila Prabhupada, Mahatma, then we are also on the path of becoming a Mahatma if we continue to read his purports and practice it in our life, right? So this text 14 and 15, Krishna has explained about pure devotional service. In text 16 also, Krishna further explains about this only, wherein he explains how this material world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam, and but a pure devotee, one who attains his abode, will never want to come back to this material world where there is birth and death. So text 16. Abrahma bhuvana loka punaravritano arjuna mamupete tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. Translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dhanvat Pranam. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death takes place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again.
Yeah, purport.
All kind of yogis, karma, jnana, hatha, etc. eventually have to attain devotional perfection in Bhakti Yoga or Krishna consciousness before they can go to Krishna's transcendental abode and never return. Those who attain the highest material planets, the planets of the demigods, are again subjected to repeated birth and death. As persons on earth are elevated to higher planets, people on higher planets such as Brahmaloka, Chandraloka, and Indraloka fall down to earth. The practice of sacrifice called Panchagni Vidya recommended in the Chandogya Upanishad enables one to achieve Brahmaloka. But if on Brahmaloka one does not cultivate Krishna consciousness, then he must return to earth. Those who progress in Krishna consciousness on the higher planets are gradually elevated to higher and higher planets, and at the time of universal devastation are transferred to the eternal spiritual kingdom. Baladeva Vidyabhushana, in this commentary on Bhagavad Gita, quotes these words from the Purva Purana 1.11.284.
Yeah, you read the translation, you can read, Mataji.
Okay. When there is devastation of this material universe, Brahma and devotees who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness are all transferred to the spiritual universe and to specific spiritual planets according to their desires. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So if you are Krishna conscious, we will be transferred to the spiritual planets, and if you're not Krishna conscious, whatever higher planets you may be, you again have to return to the lower planets after you die. Yeah. So now, if you see here in text 16, in the first two verses, Krishna is explaining about those who will remain in the material world, or those who are not devotees. And the last 2 points or the 2 lines, Krishna is explaining about pure devotees, or how they return back home, back to Godhead. So in further verses of 17, 18 and 19, Krishna further elaborates on these 2 lines. A Brahma Bhona Loka Punaravritana Arjuna. And in the further text 20 and further, Krishna explains about Mam Upektitu Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. Right? So 17 to 19, Krishna explains these first 2 lines. Further elaborates on the first 2 lines. Yeah, text 17. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyad Brahmano Vidu Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Teho Ratra Vido Jana. Yes? Translation and purport.
Amit Prabhu, can you read? Or should
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together from the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. Purport. The duration of the material universe is limited. It is manifested in cycles of kalpas. A kalpa is a day of Brahma, and one day of Brahma consists of 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas or ages: Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali. The cycle of Satya is characterized by virtue, wisdom, and religion, there being practically no ignorance and vice, and the yuga lasts 17 lakh 28,000 years. In the Treta Yuga, vice is introduced, and this yuga lasts 12 lakh 96,000 years. In the Dwapar Yuga, there is even greater decline in virtue and religion, vice increasing, and this yuga lasts 8 lakh 64,000 years. And finally, in Kali Yuga, the yuga we have now been experiencing over past 5,000 years, there is an abundance of strife, ignorance, irreligion, and vice, true virtue being practically non existent, and this yuga lasts for 4,32,000 years. In Kali Yuga, vice increases to such a point that at the termination of the yuga, the Supreme Lord Himself appears as Kalki Avatar, vanquishes the demons, saves his devotees, and commences another Satya Yuga. Then the process is set rolling again. These 4 yugas, rotating 1,000 times, comprises one day of Brahma, and the same number of comprises one night of.
Yes.
One night. Brahma lives 100 of such years and then dies. These 100 years, by earth calculation, total to 311 trillion and 40 billion earth years. By these calculation, the life of Brahma seems fantastic and interminable, but from the viewpoint of eternity, it is as brief as a lightning flash. In the casual ocean, there are innumerable Brahmas. rising and disappearing like bubbles in the Atlantic. Brahma and his creation are all part of the material universe, and therefore there are they are in constant flux. In the material universe, not even Brahma is free from the process of birth, old age, disease, and death. Brahma, however, is directly engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord in the management of the universe. Therefore, he at once attains liberation. Elevated sannyasis are promoted to Brahma's particular planet, Brahmalok, which is the highest planet in the material universe, which survives all the heavenly planets in the upper strata of the planetary system. But in due course, Brahma and all the inhabitants of Brahmalok are subject to death according to the law of material nature. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Yes. So we'll just this one we'll just see Brahma's whole life. Brahma's 100 years. So if you see Brahma's one day is equivalent to 1000 Divya Yugas. This cycle of Satya, Treta, Twapar and Kali. This is called as one Divya Yuga. And what is this? How to remember this particular these numbers? 17 lakh 28, 12 lakh 96, 8 lakh 64. It is very easy. Kali Yuga is 4 lakh 32,000 years, right? Kali Yuga is 4 lakh 32,000 years. So if you multiply it by 2, it becomes the age or the duration of Dwapar Yuga. And if you multiply Dwapar Yuga by, or 4 lakh 32 into 2 is Dwapar Yuga, 4 lakh 32 into 3 is 12 lakh 96, which is that of Treta, and 4 lakh 32,000 years into 4 is 17 lakh 28,000 years. So this becomes Satya Yuga. And if you add all these things, 17 lakh 28 plus 12 lakh 96 plus 8 lakh 64 plus 4 lakh 32, it becomes one Divya Yuga. So one Divya Yuga comes to 43 lakh 20,000 years. 43 lakh 20,000 years. So that is one day of Brahma. And it is also called as a Kalpa. So, sorry, one Divya Yuga multiplied by 1000 cycles of these 4 Yugas is one day of Brahma, which is also called as Kalpa. So there is a Divya Yuga, which is these 4 cycles combined, multiplied by 1000 is one day of Brahma, which is also called Kalpa. So his night is also 1000 cycles. So therefore, entire day, one night and one day of Brahma consists of 2000 Divya Yugas. So multiplied by 365 days, that is 1 year, and multiplied by 100, that becomes 100 years of Brahma. So this calculation that Prabhupada is explaining here, 311 trillion 40 billion earth years, comes to this particular calculation. That is 2000 Divya Yugas multiplied by 365 multiplied by 100. This comes to 311 trillion and 40 billion earth years. So this is one day of Brahma. And also here, if you see, Prabhupada is explaining about the symptoms of different yugas, that is Satya, Treta, Dwapar and Kali. And now in this Kali Yuga, what Prabhupada is explaining here, that this Kali Yuga is basically an age which is of strife, ignorance, irreligion and vice, and true virtue is practically non-existence. So recently His Grace Mohan Rup Prabhu had come, and he was telling that the astrologers have predicted, most of the astrologers have predicted that this 7 years, that is the 2025 to 2032, is very, very difficult period, and it is expected that there might be a third world war also in around 2027. So he was saying that it is practically impossible to evade this. It is impossible unless and until we devotees, we go out and distribute this holy name, distribute Prabhupada books. It is for sure that there is going to be third world war. So he was urging the devotees that we should go out on the road and we should distribute the holy name, distribute these Prabhupada books, and that only can prevent this great strife that is going to come in the future 1-2 years, that which already we are seeing the symptoms that most of the nations are quarreling among themselves. Recently there was India-Pakistan war. So Prabhuji was urging all the devotees that they should go out and distribute the holy name, do Harinam Sankirtan, distribute the Srila Prabhupada books, do this Sankirtan. Otherwise, it is very, very difficult to prevent this particular strife of this Kali. So Prabhupada was urging this. So, so now in text 18 further, Krishna explains about the text 16 first two lines, right? So we'll see text 18. Avyakta Vyaktaya Sarva Prabhavanti Haragame Ratriagame Praliyante Tatraiva Vyakta Samnyake. So here Krishna is explaining how the living entities take birth, or they enter this material world at the day of Brahma, beginning of day of Brahma, and again they enter back into Mahavishnu's body at the end of the day. So this continues, this cycle keeps on continuing. That is what Krishna is explaining. Translation.
At the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state, and therefore thereafter, when the night falls, they are merged into the unmanifest again.
Yeah. So this particular manifest, unmanifest, what does this mean? So basically, Brahmaji is coming from where? You will study this in the third canto, second and third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, that Brahmaji is manifesting from the navel of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So when Brahmaji is taking his birth, so he is coming from the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and all living entities are in Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And at the beginning of day of Brahma, so what happens? They manifest themselves, and when Brahmaji dies, they again, or at the night of Brahma, they again basically go into Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And again, when the Brahmaji's day is manifest, they again are manifested. Yes. Text 19. भूतग्रामस्य एवायं भूत्वा भूत्वा प्रलीयति रात्र्यागमे वशपार्ता प्रभवति अहरागमे. Translation.
Translation. Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated.
Yes.
Purport. The less intelligent who try to remain within this material world may be elevated to higher planets and then again must come down to this planet Earth. During the daytime of Brahma, they can exhibit their activities on higher and lower planets within this material world. But at the coming of Brahma's night, they all are annihilated. In the day, they receive various bodies of material activities, and at night they no longer have bodies but remain compact in the body of Vishnu. Then again, they are manifest at the arrival of Brahma's day. Bhutva Praliyate. During the day, they become manifest, and at night, they are annihilated again. Ultimately, when Brahma's life is finished, they are all annihilated and remain unmanifested for millions and millions of years. And when Brahma is born again in another millennium, they are again manifest. In this way, they are captivated by the spell of the material world. But those intelligent persons who take to Krishna consciousness use the human life fully in devotional service of the Lord, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thus they transfer themselves even in this life to the spiritual planet of Krishna and become eternally blissful there, not being subject to such rebirths.
Yes. So this process that devotee, against what is the process that is mentioned, that he again take birth, goes to the higher planetary systems, again becomes manifest, again takes birth. So what a devotee does is he makes utilization of this human form of life, chants the Hare Krishna mantra, serves the devotee, serves the Lord, and transfers himself to the goal of Vrindavan planet. Right? So now from text 20, Krishna is explaining about his spiritual nature or his spiritual abode, which he had explained in the text 16, the last two lines, that Krishna further is elaborating in text 20, 21 onwards. Yeah. परस्तस्मात् तु भावन्यो व्यक्तो व्यक्तात् सनातनः यः स सर्वेषु भूतेषु न स्यत्सो न विनश्यति. Translation.
Translation. Yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is.
So this is Krishna's supreme abode, that it is unmanifest, it is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter, and it is supreme and is never annihilated. When the whole world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Yeah, purport.
Purport. Krishna's superior spiritual energy is transcendental and eternal. It is beyond all the changes of material nature, which is manifested and annihilated during the days and nights of Brahma. Krishna's superior energy is completely opposite in quality to material nature. Superior and inferior nature are explained in the 7th chapter.
Yeah. So further, text 21, Krishna explains this supreme nature of his, or the supreme abode. Avyaktokshara iti yuktas tam aho paramam gatim yam prapya na nivartante taddama paramam mama. Yeah. Translation.
Ageshwari Mataji, can you read? Okay. Can someone else, maybe Gayatri Mataji, you are able to?
Yes, Prabhuji. Mataji is available now to read?
Yeah. Go ahead, Mataji.
हरिबोल आवाज आ रही है क्या?
Yes, Arya.
Translation. That which is Vedantis describes as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as supreme destination from the place from which, having attained it, one never returns. That is my supreme abode.
Yeah. Quote.
The supreme abode of the personality of Godhead, Krishna, is described in Brahma Samhita as Chintamani Dham, a place where all the desires are fulfilled. The supreme abode of the Lord Krishna, known as Golok Vrindavan, is full of palace made of touchstone. There are also trees called desire tree that supplies any kind of eatable upon demand, and there are cows known as Surbi cow, which supply limitless supply of milk. In this abode, the Lord is served by hundreds of thousands of goddess of fortune, that is Lakshmi, and he is called as Govinda, the primeval Lord, the cause of all causes. The Lord is accustomed to blow his flute, Venam Kwanantam. His transcendental form is the most attractive in all the worlds. His eyes are like lotus petals, and the color of his body is like the color of cloud. He is so attractive that his beauty excels that of thousands of cupids. He wears a saffron cloth, a garland around his neck, and peacock feather in his hair. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna gives only a small hint of his personal abode, Golok Vrindavan, which is the supermost abode and supermost planet in the spiritual world, kingdom. A vivid description is given in Brahma Samhita. Vedic literature, that is Katha Upanishad 1.3.11, states that there is nothing superior to the abode of the Supreme Godhead, and that the abode is the ultimate destination. Purusha, just a minute. Purusha na param kinchit sa kathastha sa para gatim. When one attains to it, he never returns to the material world. Krishna's supreme abode and Krishna himself are non-different, being of the same quality. On this earth, Vrindavan, 90 miles southeast of Delhi, is a replica of that of Supreme Golok Vrindavan, located in the spiritual sky. When Krishna descends on this earth, he sports on this particular tract of land known as Vrindavan in the district of Mathura, India.
Yeah. So here Prabhupada is explaining about that spiritual abode or that supreme abode of Krishna, that the Golok Vrindavan. And Prabhupada is also explaining that this tract of land, the Vrindavan land, is a replica of that Golok Vrindavan. Recently I was hearing lecture, and in that lecture, one Maharaj was saying that this Bhakti Madhurya Govind Swami Maharaj was saying that this abode of Vrindavan, we may think that, oh, this is part of India, but as soon as you enter that 84 crores, that 84 crores, that of Vrindavan or that of Mathura, it externally appears that it belongs to Bharat, belongs to India, but actually it is not India. You have come out of India. That is what Maharaj was explaining. So therefore, this part of land, that Vrindavan, is a replica of Golok Vrindavan, and it is non-different from Golok Vrindavan, and it is not a part of this material world. It is spiritual world. Yeah, text 22. So we'll move on to the next verse, that is text 22. Purushah sa parapartha bhaktya labhyasvananya yasyanta sthani bhutani yena sarvam idam tatam. Translation?
Hare Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is all pervading and everything is situated within him.
Yeah. Purport?
It is here clearly stated that the supreme destination from which there is no return is the abode of Krishna, the Supreme Person. The Brahma Samhita describes this supreme abode as Ananda Chinmaya Ras, a place where everything is full of spiritual bliss. All the variegatedness manifest there is of the quality of spiritual bliss. Nothing there is material. The variegatedness is expanded as a spiritual expansion of the Supreme Godhead Himself. For the manifestation, there is totally of the spiritual energy, as explained in chapter 7. As far as this material world is concerned, although the Lord is always in his supreme abode, he is nonetheless all pervading by his material energy. So, by his spiritual and material energies, he is present everywhere, both in the material and in the spiritual universes. Yasyantah sthani means that everything is sustained within him, within either his spiritual or material energy. The Lord is all pervading by these two energies. To enter Krishna's supreme abode or the innumerable Vaikuntha planet is possible only by bhakti, devotional service, as clearly indicated here by the word bhaktaya. No other process can help one attain the supreme abode. The Vedas, Gopalatama Tapa, Gopala Tapani Upanishad 1.21 also describes the supreme abode and the supreme personality of Godhead. Eko Vashi Sarvagaha Krishna. In that abode, there is only one supreme personality of Godhead, whose name is Krishna. He is the supreme merciful deity, and although situated there as one, he has expanded himself into millions and millions of plenary expansion. The Vedas compare the Lord to a tree standing still yet bearing many varieties of fruits, flowers, and changing leaves. The plenary expansions of the Lord who preside over the Vaikuntha planets are four-armed, and they are known by a variety of names: Purushottama, Trivikrama, Keshava, Madhava, Aniruddha, Rishikesha, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Sridhara, Vasudeva, Damodara, Janardana, Narayana, Vamana, Padmanabha, etc. The Brahma Samhita 5.37 also confirms that although the Lord is always in the supreme abode, Goloka Vrindavan, he is all pervading, so that everything is going on nicely. Goloka eva nivasati akhilam bhutah. As stated in the Vedas, Svetashtvara Upanishad 6.8, Prasya Shaktir Vividheva Suryate Swabhavaki Jnana Balakriyacha. His energies are so expansive that they systematically conduct everything in the cosmic manifestation without a flaw, although the Supreme Lord is far, far away. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So this completes the section wherein Krishna is explaining about his pure devotional service. First, Krishna answered about the destination of one who is devoted to Krishna, and then he further explained about Yoga Mishra Bhakti, and then Krishna explained about pure devotional service, and also Krishna further explained about the material world and the spiritual world, or the difference between the material world and spiritual world. Now we move on to the next section. That is from text 23. Before we move on to the next section, we'll just see what Burijantu has to say about this previous verse. Yeah. So here the words Tva Ananyaya reiterate the statement made in Bhagavad Gita 8.14. Ananya Cheta Sadatam Yoma Smarati Nityasa. Our desires must be undeviatedly focused upon Krishna. Maintaining desires for jnana, karma, yoga, and so on prevents us from attaining Krishna. Krishna has now concluded describing the spiritual world and the process of reaching it. In the final 6 verses of this chapter, Krishna discusses the process by which a soul should leave his body to attain the supreme. So in the final 6 verses, that is from 23 to 28, what Krishna is explaining is the process by which a soul should leave his body to attain the supreme. So let us see that. So before we move on to the last 6 verses, anybody has any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll continue with this last six verses of this particular chapter, the 8th chapter. If you have no questions, then we'll complete this particular 6 verses and you'll further see the 6 verses. Text 23. Yatra kale tu avrittim chaiva yogina prayata yanti tam kalam vakshami bharatarshava. Translation.
O best of the Bharatas, I shall now explain to you the different times at which passing away from this world the yogi does or does not come back. Purport. The unalloyed devotees of the Supreme Lord, who are totally surrendered souls, do not care when they leave their bodies or by what method. They leave everything in Krishna's hand and so easily and happily return to Godhead. But those who are not unalloyed devotees and who depend instead on such methods of spiritual realization as Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Hatha Yoga must leave the body at a suitable time in order to be sure of whether or not they will return to the world of birth and death. If the yogi is perfect, he can select the time and situation for leaving his material world. But if he is not so expert, his success depends on his accidentally passing away at a certain suitable time. The suitable time at which one passes away and does not come back are explained by the Lord in the next verse. According to Acharya Baldev Vidyabhusana, the Sanskrit word kala used herein refers to the presiding deity of time. Hare Krishna.
You can see the expertness of Srila Prabhupada here, that Krishna is going to explain the different times at which passing away from this world the yogi does or does not come back. But Prabhupada is clearly explaining. Therefore, Prabhupada's purports are so very important for us, that he is explaining that for a devotee, for an unalloyed devotee who is totally surrendered, for him it does not care when he leaves his body or by what method. So that they live for in Krishna's hand. So therefore, they easily and happily return to Godhead, right? So in text 24, Krishna is going to explain now the right time and not the right time to leave one's body. Text 24. Agnir Jyotir Aha Suklaha Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahma Brahma Vidojana. Translation.
Those who know the Supreme Brahma attain the Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of the fairy Gaur in the light at an auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, or during the 6 months when the sun travels in the north.
So this 6 months when the sun travels in the north is after Makara Sankranti. The next 6 months after Makara Sankranti. Purport.
When fire, light, day, and the fortnight of the moon are mentioned, it is to be understood that over all of them there are various presiding deities who make arrangements for the passage of the soul. At the time of death, the mind carries one on the path to a new life. If one leaves the body at the time designated above, either accidentally or by arrangement, it is possible for him to attain the impersonal Brahmajyoti. Mystics who are advanced in yoga practice can arrange the time and place to leave the body. Others have no control if by accident they leave at an auspicious moment, then they will not return to the cycle of birth and death. But otherwise, there is every possibility that they will have to return. However, for the pure devotee in Krishna consciousness, there is no fear of returning. Whether he leaves the body at an auspicious or inauspicious moment by accident or arrangement.
So for a pure devotee, there is no fear of returning, whether he leaves his body at an auspicious or inauspicious moment by accident or arrangement. So we'll move on to the next verse, text 25. So here, Krishna told auspicious moment for leaving the body. Now Krishna in the next verse is telling the inauspicious moments for leaving the body. धूमो रात्रिस्तथा कृष्णः सन्मास दक्षिणायनं तत्र चन्द्रांश ज्योतिर्योगी प्राप्य निवर्तते. Translation.
The mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, the night, the fortnight of the waning moon, or the 6th month when the sun passes to the to the south, reaches the moon planet, but again comes back.
Yeah, he returns back. Purport.
In the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Kapila Muni mentions that those who are expert in fruitive activities and sacrificial methods on earth attain to the moon at death. Those elevated souls live on the moon for about 10,000 years by demigod calculations and enjoy life by drinking somadas. They eventually return to earth. This means that on the moon there are higher classes of living beings, though they may not be perceived by the gross senses.
Yes. Text 26. Shukla Krishne gati hete jagata shashvate mate ekaya yati anavrittim ananya vartate punaha. Translation.
Hare Krishna Guruji, Vandu Pranam.
Yeah.
According to Vedic opinion, there are ways of passing from this world, one in light and one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back, but when one passes in darkness, he returns.
Yes, but this calculation does not apply to a devotee. Yes, purport.
The same description of departure and return is quoted by Acharya Baldev Vidyabhushan from Chang,
Chandogya
Chandogya,
Upanishad.
Chandogya Upanishad 5.10.3 to 5. Those who are fruitive laborers and philosophical speculators from time immemorial are constantly going and coming. Actually, they do not attain ultimate salvation, for they do not surrender to Krishna. Surrender unto me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Text 27. Naite shriti partha janan yogi muyyanti kaschana tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto bhava arjuna. Yes. Ultimate. Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Although the devotees know these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. Purport. Krishna is here advising Arjuna that he should not be disturbed by the different paths the soul can take when leaving the material world. A devotee of the Supreme Lord should not worry whether he will depart by arrangement or by accident. The devotee should be firmly established in Krishna consciousness and chant Hare Krishna. He should know that concern over either of these two paths is troublesome. The best way to be absorbed in Krishna consciousness is to be always
Yes.
the best way to be absorbed in Krishna consciousness is to be always doted in his service. And this will make one's path to the spiritual kingdom safe, certain, and direct. The word yoga yukta is especially significant in this verse. One who is firm in yoga is constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness in all his activities. Sri Rupa Goswami advises अनासक्त्यस्य विषयान् यथार्थः upaniyujatah. One should be unattached in material affairs and do everything in Krishna consciousness. By this system, which is called Yukta Vairagya, one attains perfection. Therefore, the devotee is not disturbed by these descriptions because he knows that this passage to the supreme abode is guaranteed by the devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So the best way to be absorbed in Krishna consciousness is to always doted in his service, and this will make one's path to spiritual kingdom safe, certain, and direct. Yes. So the last verse of this particular chapter, we'll see this. Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upaiti chatyam. Translation.
Amit Prabhu, can you read, please? Dayamay Mataji, will you able to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, sorry.
Okay, yeah, Amit Prabhu, go ahead.
Yeah, somehow I was not able to unmute. Person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. Perfect. This verse is the summation of the seventh and eighth chapters, which particularly deal with Krishna consciousness and devotional service. One has to study the Vedas under the guidance of spiritual master and undergo many austerities and penances while living under his care. A brahmachari has to live in the home of the spiritual master just like a servant, and he must beg alms from door to door and bring them to the spiritual master. He takes food only under master's order, and if the master neglects to call the student for food that day, the student fasts. These are some of the Vedic principles for observing brahmacharya. After the student studies the Vedas under the master for some time, at least from the just give me a second. Isha, can you please speak? Sorry, Bhuji, I'm just going to. There's another speaker. Um, Thank you. After the student studies the Vedas under the master for some time, at least from the age 5 to 20, he becomes a man of perfect character. Study of the Vedas is not meant for the recreation of armchair speculators, but for the formation of character. After this training, a brahmachari is allowed to enter into household life and marry. When he is a householder, he has to perform many sacrifices so that he may achieve further enlightenment. He must also give charity in goodness, in passion, and in ignorance, as described in Bhagavad Gita. Then, after retiring from household life, upon accepting the order of Vanaprastha, he undergoes severe penances, living in forest, dressing with tea, tree bark, not shaving, etc. By carrying out the order of brahmacharya, householder life, vanaprastha, and finally sannyas, one becomes elevated to the perfectional stage of life. Some are then elevated to the heavenly kingdoms, and when they become even more advanced, they are liberated in the spiritual sky, either in the impersonal Brahmajyoti or in the Vaikuntha planets or Krishna Lok. This is the path outlined by Vedic literatures. The beauty of Krishna consciousness, however, is that by one stroke, by engaging in devotional service, one can surpass all the rituals of different orders of life. The word idam viditva indicates that one should understand the instructions given by Sri Krishna in this chapter and the seventh chapter of Bhagavad Gita. One should try to understand these chapters not by scholarship or by mental speculation, but by hearing them in association with devotees. Chapters 7 through 12 are the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The first six and the last six are like coverings for the middle six chapters, which are especially protected by the Lord. If one is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita, especially these middle six chapters, in the association of devotees, then his life at once becomes glorified beyond all penances, sacrifices, charities, speculations, etc. For one can achieve all the results of these activities simply by Krishna consciousness. One who has one who has a little faith in Bhagavad Gita should learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee, because in the beginning of the 4th chapter, it is stated clearly that Bhagavad Gita be understood only by devotees. No one else can perfectly understand the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. One should therefore learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee of Krishna, not from mental speculators. This is a sign of faith. When one searches for a devotee and fortunately gets a devotee's association, one actually begins to study and understand Bhagavad Gita. By advancement in the association of the devotee, one is placed in the devotional service, and this service dispels all one's misgivings about Krishna or God. And Krishna's activities, form, pastime, name, and other features. After these misgivings have been perfectly cleared away, one becomes fixed in one's study. Then, one relishes the study of Bhagavad Gita and attains the state of feeling always Krishna conscious. In the advanced stage, one falls in the advanced
Yes.
stage, one falls completely in love with Krishna. This highest perfectional stage of life enables the devotee to be transferred to Krishna's abode in the spiritual sky, Golok Vrindavan, where the devotee becomes eternally happy.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Yeah, if you see in the
What?
if
Sorry.
you see in this last paragraph, what Prabhupada is explaining is the 9 stages of bhakti that is explained in the Madhurya Kadambini. So Prabhupada is first saying that one who has a little faith, Shraddha, in Bhagavad Gita should learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee, because in the beginning of the 4th chapter it is clearly stated Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by devotees. So first comes Shraddha, and in the estimation of devotees, so this is a sign of faith, Prabhupada explains here. Then after Shraddha comes when one searches for a devotee and fortunately gets a devotee association. So Sadhu Sangha, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha. Then Prabhupada explained that by advancement in the association of devotee, one is placed in devotional service, that is Bhajana Kriya. So by advancement in the association of devotees, one is placed in this Bhajana Kriya, and this service dispels all one's misgivings about Krishna, that is Anartha Nivritti. And after these misgivings have been perfectly cleared away, one becomes fixed in one study, that is Nishtha. Nishtha, and after Nishtha comes Ruchi, Asakti, and finally this one relishes the study of Bhagavad Gita and attains a state of feeling always Krishna conscious. So this is Ruchi, and then there is Asakti, and in the advanced stage one falls completely in loving Krishna, which is the Bhava and Prema. So here Prabhupada is very nicely explaining according to this particular chapter how one can, by the study of Bhagavad Gita, by the association of devotees, one can gradually elevate himself from Shraddha to Prema, right? So this completes this particular chapter, the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, wherein Prabhupada is explaining that this middle chapters are actually devotional service, and Krishna is protecting these middle 6 chapters from the first middle 6 chapters by covering. There are 2 coverings, that is the first 6 chapters and the last 6 chapters. So this Prabhupada is explaining that only a devotee can understand Bhagavad Gita, and when in the association of devotees we hear this Bhagavad Gita or we read this Bhagavad Gita, then it becomes easy to understand Bhagavad Gita, right? So which all of you are already doing. So thank you. So this completes this 8th chapter. So we'll so if anybody has any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll stop the class here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. So, Prabhuji, you explained in last chapter in that Mahamanusmada. Am I audible?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So, in last chapter, Mahamanusmada Yuddhascha, you said that while doing our duty, we should remember Krishna. It's not just that; it's 2 separate things.
Yeah. So what is the question? Hare Krishna, Pratik Prabhu. I think he got disconnected.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Your question did not get completed, Prabhu. Can you repeat
Yeah.
once again?
Yes. So while doing our duty as well, we should remember Krishna. And then this chapter explains about how essential it is to remember Krishna at the time of death. but we again hear from so many devotees that death can come at any moment. So what are some not negotiable things which we should do in our day-to-day life that will bring that remembrance? Because it is very hard. Am I
Prabhuji got
audible?
dropped. Prabhuji got dropped.
Should we leave, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
He is joining. Anyways, I guess he's finished. So I just had one question. So if you have time, you can. Otherwise, you can do. He's rejoining in a minute. He said.
Okay, Prabhuji, no problem. Prabhuji, when Prabhuji joins, can you please repeat your question? We could not understand your question.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I can.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna, sorry, laptop got discharged. Pratik 2, can you just repeat the question if you're there?
Hare Krishna. We cannot hear.
Yes, Prabhu.
Or it's just me. I don't know. Maybe just me.
Prabhuji is audible, Pratik Bro.
Okay. The question was, Prabhuji, given death can come at any time, and you said we should remember while performing our duty, but it is very, very, very hard sometimes. So, what are some non-negotiable things which we should do that will bring about that remembrance? Because while normally going on with our life, it is very hard. I am for sure I can say that it is not always I have that devotional mindset. So what are some points which we should do in our daily life that will bring that remembrance, given death can come at any?
Yeah. So actually recently hearing 1-2 days back the Bhagavatam class wherein Prabhuji was mentioning that while we are rendering this devotional service, it's not that by rendering this devotional service, this is a means that this, oh Krishna, I am performing this particular activity, I am chanting your Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I am rendering service to you, I am dedicating my life to you, I am serving your devotees. So because of this, you will show your mercy. No, because Krishna's mercy is not dependent on our activities. Krishna's mercy is causeless. So first of all, we should remember that our own whatever we do, whatever we are doing in this thing, that may qualify us to return home back to Godhead, or because Krishna's mercy is always causeless. So first thing is we should try to please him. Whatever we are doing in our life, it should be to with a desire to please him. And second thing is, Krishna is pleased when we serve his devotees, when we do not offend him, when we do not when we do not offend his devotees. So what happens is, Krishna is very easily pleased. So first of all, if you want to remember him, that remembrance can happen by his mercy only. So how that can be possible? If we have at least a desire to serve his devotees, please his devotees, so then that will please Krishna, and by that pleasure of Krishna, what will happen is, Krishna will give you the intelligence, Krishna will give you the remembrance whenever it is required. So this is one thing. Second thing is, for our practical arrangements that we need to make, the non-negotiable things that you are asking is, first of all, every day our whatever sadhana, routine sadhana is there, because we know that death can come at any point. So therefore we should keep a dedicated time. Like for example, we're chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Prabhupada has clearly mentioned that we know that morning sadhana is very, very important, but sometimes it becomes very difficult. But we have to make it a priority that as early as possible we get up, whatever like for example, in temple, our morning program starts at 4:30. So for us, we have to get up at either 4 o'clock or 3:30, get ready. But at least for you, you may get late at night. So at least as early as possible. I like when we hear Radhanath Swami Maharaj lectures or Guru Maharaj lecture, Maharaj many of the times Anand Vrindavan Prabhu and many Grahas devotees ask Maharaj question that Maharaj, it sometimes becomes very difficult to get up early because our schedules are, we sometimes sleep late at night. So Maharaj tells that, so at whatever time you sleep, at least as early as possible, get up, chant Hare Krishna mantra. If deities are there, worship the deities. Or so this chanting of Hare Krishna mantra in the morning, and also these Guru Ashtaka prayers, Narasimha prayers, and Tulsi Aarti prayers. These are very, very important that we should be chanting this. Not that it is only for temple devotees and not for this thing. So whenever we get time, either by driving car or like I remember while we were sometimes while I was working, sometimes it would be difficult for us to do Guru Puja and also while whatever we used to miss while we used to go in bus or at that time we used to chant these prayers. So always whatever the standards Prabhupada has set, if we try to follow, then the morning time especially, as I was explaining that Ma Manusmara Yuddhacha, before we begin the war starts, we go to work or we serve in the home. So before that we complete as many rounds as possible and pray these prayers, Narasimha prayers, Tulsi Aarti prayers, offering water to the Tulsi every day, and the Guru Ashtaka prayers, and also trying to hear on a regular basis every day and reading Prabhupada books every day, trying to do all these things and trying to do these without offense, because if offenses are there, then Krishna will not be pleased, and if Krishna is not pleased, then what may happen is he may not give us the remembrance, because remember, we cannot remember Krishna because from so many lifetimes we have been away from Krishna, so it will be very difficult. But remembrance will happen only by the mercy of Krishna, and that mercy is causeless, but Krishna will be pleased when we serve his devotees. So therefore these are some practical tips that we can do to remember Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Pratik Prabhu, hope this helps.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Yeah, it helped.
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna,
can...
Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, this is with reference to text 14. Here it is given like Bhakti Yogas are engaged in 5 different ways as
Text 14?
Text, yes.
Okay, 1 minute. Yeah. So you are telling about this rasas that Prabhupada is explaining, I think.
Yes, that is Shanta Bhakta and Dasya Bhakta. So what should be our mode of engagement? Like how we should connect to Krishna, like when we are doing this practice?
Yeah. So actually, we have a particular rasa in the spiritual world that we are all devotees of Lord Krishna. So all of us are basically the Shanta rasa. The Shanta rasa is basically the inactive state, but Dasya, Sakya, Madhurya, and Vatsalya, these are all the active states. So we are in one of the states, either Dasya, Sakya, Madhurya, or Vatsalya. So Prabhupada tells that will be revealed. Like many times, Prabhupada disciples and many of them wanted to go to Vrindavan so that many of the Babajis in Vrindavan should tell that what you're doing in ISKCON, you come here, we will reveal your what is your this thing. We will give you Swarupa Siddhi. We will give you a mantra by which you will be able to understand who you are in the spiritual world. But what is that? Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, and our Srila Prabhupada also always used to tell that these all higher bhavas, that Dasya, Sakya Bhava, Madhurya Bhava, which bhava we are in, it will be ultimately, gradually, it will be revealed as we are entering devotional service. So, therefore, but for all the devotees, one state or one rasa which is common for all the devotees is Dasya Bhava, because even if you see a Sakya devotee, Krishna's friend, he ultimately wants to please Krishna. He is in the mood of a servant. Even if you see Yashodama, Nanda Maharaj, they are all in the mood of service only. And even Madhurya, Srimati Radharani, all the gopis, ultimately they want to please Krishna and serve Krishna. So for all these five rasas, one common rasa is Dasya Bhakta. So as long as that bhava, that which bhava we are in, Sakya, Madhurya, Vatsalya, is not revealed, for us, the bhava that we can take shelter of is Dasya, that is service to Krishna and service to devotees. And by this, ultimately, our real bhava, real rasa, which we are in, it will be eventually and gradually revealed by the mercy of Guru and the mercy of Krishna. So therefore, we should always try to please Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas. By this, ultimately, gradually, everything will be revealed. Is this okay, Mataji?
Yes, thank you so much, Prabhu.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Anybody else has questions? Otherwise, we'll stop here.
Prabhuji, just a question. Like,
Yeah.
from the verse 24 to 26, Krishna is explaining like, no, what are those auspicious and inauspicious time to pass.
Yeah.
But then anyway, that is not in most of the people's hand. So why Krishna is explaining that?
Yeah, if you see here, Prabhupada is explaining in the purport that, see here, if you see the yogis have that, this thing. So this Krishna is telling, the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is speaking not only to the Kali Yuga Vasis, wherein we don't have the power to control when we die or something, but Krishna is in general explaining this Bhagavad Gita or explaining the Vedic tattvas, Vedic knowledge. So therefore, like for example, even if you see in terms of Mahabharat, our Bhishma Dev actually was lying on the deathbed, but he had this Ichha Mrityu. So he was just waiting for the right time to leave his body. That was when Krishna appeared. So seeing Krishna's lotus face, he left his body. So there are yogis, even in the purport it is mentioned here that there are certain certain yogis who have that, they basically decide. If you see here, it is written, mystics who are advanced in yoga practice can arrange the time and place to leave the body, right? So therefore, for them it is mentioned. So therefore Prabhupada is again and again explaining that we need not have to worry about these verses, because anyway it is not in our hand. So anyway we are chanting Hare Krishna mantra, serving the Lord and his devotees. So therefore it ultimately Krishna desires, and based on Krishna's desire, our next destination will be decided. Is this okay, Prabhu?
Yes, sir. Thank
you. Yeah. Okay, anybody else has questions? Yeah, if nobody has questions, then we'll stop here. Okay, so this completes the 8th chapter. So maybe in the next Saturday, Prabhuji will continue with 9th chapter. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here.
Thank you. Yes,
Oh,
thank you very
okay.
much, Prabhuji, for joining and kindly explaining all questions. So we know you took some time because Gopal Prabhu had some work. So we would like to thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Dandavat.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
you, Rajesh.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat.